Good morning, everyone. This is Father Nate, missionary priest in Italy, and thanks for joining us today, February 24th, on No Greater Delight, our podcast on Marian feasts and Marian meditations. Well, today we have a very, very special memorial, especially if you're here in Italy like I am, because we recall that the plague in Rome ended after Pope St. Gregory the Great led a procession with a painting of Our Lady, painted by St. Luke. This is recounted to us by Father or Abbot Orsini, who says, on this day, in the year 591, St. Gregory the Great, having had the picture of Our Lady, which was painted by St. Luke, carried in procession, the plague ceased at Rome. Right? So in 591, this was a year of great suffering for the Romans, right? There was the war between the Byzantine Empire and the Goths, and so Italy was depopulated. They were overrun by the Germanic tribe of Lombards, who were pagans and Arians. They actually burned the abbey at Monte Cassino. Quite terrible. There was earthquakes, flooding, warfare, and yes, the plague, right? So what happened? Well, the plague was so terrible that Pope St. Gregory the Great called for a procession to take place, right? Some sources say that it actually took place on April 24th. Doesn't matter. We remember it on February 24th. So the faithful gathered in their little groups throughout Rome, and then they walked together praying to reach the church of Saint Mary Major. We're told that the plague was so severe at that point that 80 participants collapsed and died just as they were walking towards the meeting place. So Pope St. Gregory met them upon their arrival, joined them in prayer, and then they held aloft the miraculous image of Our Lady. Some of them say it's the famous image of Salus Populi Romani. Others say it's the Madonna of Clemency. In either event, they say it's painted by St. Luke. As the procession neared the Vatican, the participants all saw St. Michael the Archangel standing upon the cupola of Hadrian's mausoleum as he sheathed his flaming sword, a sign that the chastisement had come to an end, right? There are accounts that say that even just as at that very moment, the heaviness in the air abated and the air itself seemed to freshen up and clear, right? Like I said, the participants all saw St. Michael the Archangel. If you're familiar with Rome, Hadrian's mausoleum is actually known now as Castel Sant'Angelo, which has the big statue of St. Michael the Archangel above it. Some attribute it actually to this event, saying that that's why the statue was put there. In any event, we remember that Jesus is the one who brings salvation to our souls. He heals us of the worst wound of all, which is sin. And we know that he came into the world through his blessed mother. So we turn to her today in a particular way, asking for her intercession and to help us be restored to health from that evil illness, which is sin. For today's reading from the Imitation of Mary by Alexander de Rouville, we continue with Book 2, regarding Mary's virtues from Jesus' birth to his death, and today we'll consider the conversation contained in chapter 32, submission to God's will, even in what seems contrary to his glory. So again, this one, we do actually have a conversation between Mary and the believer, and we start off with the believer. Mother of Jesus, what sorrow you felt at seeing the Jews draw such little profit from your divine Son's preaching. That heavenly teaching, although accredited by striking miracles, could not convert so many stubborn minds that preferred to blind themselves. Like sick men who push away the hand that wants to heal them, these unbelieving men rejected the salvation offered them. What were your feelings then? You groaned at the blindness and stubbornness of these headstrong people, but you groaned in silence and never stopped praying God for their conversion. Mary, my child, the thing I certainly wanted above all else was for Jesus to be known. My zeal for his glory made me feel deeply the hardening of Jewish hearts. Yet why should I have therefore lost my peace of soul? I knew that God often makes use of evil in carrying out his plans. I knew he draws good from evil. Therefore in silence I adored the infinite wisdom that at times allows wickedness to triumph. The believer. Holy Virgin, that patience will be my model in all circumstances of life, and especially in those in which my faith will feel itself shaken. Mary. Yes, my child, when you see wickedness walking happily with head held high and trampling innocence down, do not let yourself be swept along by the impulses of an embittered zeal. True religious spirit forbids such a course. Why can you not bear with what God himself accepts? He could prevent what you regard as scandalous, but he does not do so, and he has his reasons. It is for you to adore them. Nothing happens in our world without his permission, and everything, evil as well as good, serves his providential purposes. It is not granted to you now to understand his plans, but the day will come when you will recognize their full justice and wisdom. You should not, of course, be insensible of the evils in the church. It is only right that they should be a source of affliction for you. You may even weep bitterly over them, as God himself does. But if you were to be scandalized at them, so that your faith suffered or you lost your peace, that would no longer be any zeal, but an abuse and an excess. One true virtue does not destroy another. Submission of mind to what God allows is compatible with genuine zeal for the glory of God. Evils call for your tears and laments, but they should be tears shed at the Savior's feet, and laments voiced to him. Tell him of your anguish. Ask him to put an end to your afflictions. Speak to him with a holy freedom. He will not be offended. Awake, why are you asleep, O Lord? Arise, cast us not off forever. Why do you hide your face, forgetting our woe and our oppression? That's Psalm 44, verses 24-25. It is on you that men dare declare war. It is your holy name that is scorned, your religion that is blasphemed, your work that men seek to destroy. Defend your cause. Do not let evil prevail any longer, for it is your very glory that is at stake. My child, if you address him in this fashion, you will do justice to what zeal for God's glory and your religion requires, and you will be able to wait in peace for the Lord to come and console you.
Thank you for listening, and we hope you enjoyed our Marian podcast. As St. John Paul II teaches us, from Mary we learn to love Christ, her Son, the Son of God. Through her intercession, may we grow ever closer to him. We encourage you to share this with a loved one or friend and help spread our devotion to Mary. Thank you, and God bless.